it for sustaining the CBA salaries shall immediately top up when the government releases the funds. We are not leaving this industrial action with all what we wanted, which was immediate full implementation of 7.9 billion, but we have secured the 7.9 billion. I want to thank all the organs of the union, particularly National Executive Council and the National Delegate Council yesterday, that gave me power to call off this strike. We consider the firm commitment by the National Treasury in Parliament and balance against the interest of more than 600,000 students
been met fully. So we came back here into this hall yesterday and we continued negotiating, and eventually the unions accepted the two-phased payment, first payment of 3.85 billion and first payment of 3.85 billion towards the end of this year and after the first supplementary, and the second payment will be in the financial year of 2026-2027.
Still on matters education is that Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos Ogamba has issued a stern warning to teachers and examination center managers, cautioning that anyone found engaging in exam malpractice will face deregistration and prosecution. This comes as 5 individuals were arrested in Nairobi County for impersonating candidates. Speaking in Dagoretti while supervising the ongoing KCSE examination now on its third day, Ogamba expressed concerns over the rising cases of exam malpractice, urging all education stakeholders to uphold integrity throughout the examination period.
Assessments. The KJSE being the first transition assessment to senior school under the competency-based education was concluded on Monday this week. We applaud the candidates, teachers and officials who worked tirelessly to ensure a seamless process. The ministry is now focused on the secure transfer and timely processing of the assessment materials in readiness for release and placement decisions. As part of the transition into senior school in 2026, we have today released the guidelines for the implementation of senior school education. These guidelines will strengthen institutional readiness, assist teachers, parents and learners and other stakeholders in education to adjust to the new curricular requirements. This will also ensure that schools are well prepared to receive the first CBE cohort progressing into grade 10 next year. We remain committed to a placement process that honors merit, learner preference and available school capacity. The Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examinations are ongoing nationwide. Today, candidates are sitting the chemistry paper in the morning session and the English paper in the afternoon session. These examinations mark an important step in their lives as they prepare for university education, vocational training, entrepreneurship, and future careers. While the vast majority of Kenyans have shown exemplary cooperation, it is regrettable that a few individuals have attempted to engage in examination malpractice despite repeated warnings. The government has already taken firm action against those involved, and these measures should serve as a strong deterrent to anyone contemplating to undertake similar misconduct. We will not allow any attempt to sabotage the future of our children or the global reputation.
And now to something else making headlines is that President William Ruto has called on Kenyans living abroad to rally behind his vision of transforming Kenya into a developed nation. Speaking in Doha, Qatar, during a meeting with Kenyans residing there, the head of state lauded the diaspora community for the remarkable contribution of over $5 billion last year. He further urged them to channel their skills, experience and resources towards building the nation, promising to review remittance charges downward, a move aimed at encouraging more investment back home.
We are working as a government to see how we can reduce the cost of you sending money back home. remittance. We know that it costs anywhere between 5 to 10% of the money you send. And if you look at the amount of money that comes to Kenya, it's about $5 billion. If you do 5% of $5 billion, it's colossal. It's huge money. It can make a big difference.
We are proud of the Kenyans who are working outside. We are really proud of them. As a country, you may not know, but I can tell you, you are making a tremendous contribution to the stability of our economy, and we want to continue thanking you for doing that. Do not tire.
Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, that is KUPPET, is now threatening to camp at Teacher Service Commission offices across the country, demanding the employment of over 20,000 teachers currently serving on contract. Led by Mombasa Branch Secretary Lynette Kamadi, the union has accused the TSC of dragging its feet in announcing the vacancies, despite funds for recruitment already being allocated by the government. The teachers say the shortage of both primary and secondary school teachers has left those in service overstretched, handling huge student populations, even as the government maintains it is working to address the crisis.
It was set aside 5.4 billion. We went to State House, the president confirmed and told us that they will be confirmed. If this process is not advertised as early as now, it means we have a risk of these teachers going through internship another year. So we are here to demand from Teacher Service Commission that we want to see that advert with immediate effect.
Power, whatever you want to do, not even telling us what that new document is about the SHA, shifting us without us participating and giving our own views. Listen to the government of Kenya. We are not going to relent. This war you are starting, we have full armor of fighting it.
Please, honor that and do the necessary. Employ those teachers, confirm those teachers. There are only 20,000 teachers, and if possible, add more teachers so that the junior schools, and that is the child of Kenyan citizen, can be catered off by the government, because at the end of the day, we are paying the taxes.
Up to today, we have junior school teachers of this country, citizens of this country, patriots, who are teaching 40 lessons in a week, Monday to Friday. We shall not allow teachers to die of workload and stress related at the places of our work.
Switching gears now to matters politics, DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua has called on young people to take charge of Kenya's future by actively engaging in leadership and decision-making. Speaking during the DCP Youth League Forum at the party's headquarters, Gachagua said the 2024 elections present a historic opportunity for the youth to help reshape the nation's destiny, urging them to step forward and vie for elective positions. He described the youth as Kenya's most vital stakeholders, both the present and the future, and challenge them to use their numbers and energy to influence change. Gachagua also responded to President William Ruto's recent remarks that he no longer has a strong political rival, saying the election will not be a contest against any individual, but between President William Ruto and the people of Kenya.
The mission is very simple. It's to help you, the young people, get rid of Kasongo and take your rightful place in the governance of this country. Hata nikimaliza hiyo niende wa Monyoro nikapumzike, I'll be quite happy. Kasongo waende, vijana wachukue nafasi. And let me confirm, for the avoidance of doubt, we shall have one single presidential candidate. Nimeona Kasongo amesponsor ma headline kwa ile magazeti yake jana. Rigiji asimami, ati sijui atawachia wengine ati apewe share ya serikali. Nani nakwambia? Rigiji is a front runner in this race, my friend. Rigiji, what I need to do is to persuade my colleagues that I have the numbers, I have the mobilization capacity, I can marshal enough resources, I have enough inspiration, I have enough messaging capacity to defeat William Ruto. I'll persuade my colleagues to make me the flag bearer. In case I don't persuade them, and they persuade me that another Kenyan can do it, I'll sacrifice. I will. But hiyo gazeti muliona, hiyo ni gazeti ya Kasongo. And it is run by the National Intelligence Service. I would like Kenyans to ignore that nonsense that was there yesterday. Sisi hatujaketi kukubaliana ni nani. Na hatukai haraka. Tutakaa baada ya Christmas 2026. For the time being, our single presidential candidate for now is Ruto must go. And our plan for now is one term.
Still in the corridors of power, Public Service Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Ruku has taken issue with remarks made by DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua, accusing him of making divisive statements against Mount Kenya leaders. Speaking during an education sensitization meeting in Mbeere North, Embu County, Ruku dismissed Gachagua's claims that leaders from the region lack integrity, saying such utterances only serve to divide communities. He maintained that Mount Kenya leaders continue to serve the nation diligently under the respected leadership of Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki. Meanwhile, residents in the area pledged their support for Leonard Wamudende's parliamentary bid in Mbeere North.
Hapa ni mlima. Wewe Rigathi Gachagua unasema ati unataka mawakili wakuwe mbungeni, unataka professional wakuwe mbungeni. Nataka nikuelezee tukiwa hapa mlima hapa Mbeere North. Sisi tumesoma sawa sawa. Tumekuwa katika shule miaka mingi jameni. Sio kama wewe na sio kama wewe na wale ambao mnaambatana na wao, akina Koimbori, akina Mejandong, akina yule mwingine wa hapa anaitwa Mbanzu pale Nairobi, watu ambao hawana makaratasi, hawajaenda shule hiyo yote. Kazi yake ni kuimba nyimbo za matusi. Kazi yake ni kuimba nyimbo ambazo zinaonyesha watoto wetu tapia ambaye we cannot call it a role model. Tapia ambaye iwezi kuwa role model. Hiyo ndio wewe Rigathi Gachagua na viongozi wale wengine mumetafuta. Lakini watu wa Mbeere North wamesema kwa kauli moja, tarehe 27 mwezi huu wataamuka mapema so that you can be taught a lesson. Ya kwamba sisi tunajua ile ambayo tunataka. Ya kwamba sisi tunajua ile ambayo tunataka kama watu ya Mbeere North, kama watu ya mlima. Na tunataka maendeleo, hatutaki maneno tupu, hatutaki matusi yale ambao wewe na watu yako mko na.
The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, that is IEBC, has warned politicians against making inflammatory remarks about election rigging ahead of the 2027 polls. Speaking in Mombasa during a youth sensitization forum organized by the Amnesty International, IEBC chairperson Erastus Ethekon said such claims are meant to undermine public confidence in the electoral process. Ethekon further assured Kenyans that the commission is fully prepared to conduct a free, fair and transparent election, urging young people to come out in large numbers and register as voters to exercise their democratic right.
To rig any election in this country. The systems are there, the checks and balances are there, the accountability points are there, we have observers, we have our technological system for voter identification, and of course the result transmission system, which is very robust.
The only way your voice can be heard is through the ballot, not fighting. You can't go to the street and achieve what you want to achieve. You need to go to the ballot and make sure that you achieve your objective. By doing so, you'll actually get good leaders.
This is an opportunity that you have, the youth of Kenya. If you want to make a difference, if you want to have an impact, a lasting impact in society, your voter's card is the silver bullet.
President William Ruto has announced a major crackdown on rogue employment agencies accused of exploiting Kenyans seeking job abroad. Speaking earlier today, President Ruto revealed that about 600 recruitment firms with questionable records have been deregistered as part of the government's new strategy to sanitize the labor export sector. The head of state further noted that the registration process for employment agencies has been overhauled to ensure only credible and transparent organizations are allowed to operate.
We had many very bad people operating as recruitment agencies. And we had very crooked, very unprofessional people. So we have had to change the registration process for recruitment agencies. And we have had to disappoint many people because recruitment agencies that had a track record of doing the wrong thing, we've had to deregister almost 600 recruitment agencies. We have had to deregister them because they were doing the wrong thing. They were picking money from people. They were sending people with, tourist visa. Many of the complaints that we got were because of the recruitment agencies doing the wrong things. We've since created a multi-agency team that now looks at the whole exercise of Kenyans being recruited outside Kenya in a holistic manner. We have gone through the motions to make sure that all the job opportunities from every part of the world are posted on a government website where everybody can see, so that if it is not in the government website, then you know that job is actually fake.
Switching gears to matters agriculture is that Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe now wants those selling fake seeds to farmers to face treason charges, saying the crime threatens Kenya's food security. Speaking in Nyeri during the launch of the modern Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Service KEFIS facilities, Kagwe urged Parliament to enact laws prescribing severe penalties equating the offense to treason. The Agriculture CS also called on security agencies to intensify crackdowns on individuals involved in the sale of counterfeit seeds and uncertified nursery materials, warning that such acts undermine the country's food production and farmers' livelihoods.
Are a national security issue and should be handled as such. Those who are selling fake seeds should be held as treasonable individuals. It's treason, really. Because what happens when people in the country don't have food? You all know around the world what happens.
We are also going to establish demonstration farm where farmers will be invited to come and see what new methods of growing crops are available to be able to realize high yield for the purpose of attaining food security.
We know the sizes of our land because of the increased population are getting smaller by the day, and therefore we must start looking at production per unit. We must start looking at the quality of the produce.
The Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, that is EPRA, has concluded a series of public consultations on the proposed Kenya Pipeline Company tariffs for the financial years 2025 to 2026 and 2027 to 2028. According to Deputy Director Waweru Karanja, the forums held across several towns were aimed at promoting transparency and public participation before the new rates are implemented. Karanja noted that the proposed 2.4% adjustment could lead to a slight increase in fuel pump prices as the funds will go towards system upgrades and improving pipeline efficiency.
The Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, EPRA, the body mandated to regulate Kenya's energy sector, has received an application from KPC seeking a review of pipeline transportation and secondary storage tariffs for the tariff control period commencing 2025-2026, ending 2027-2028. This review aims to reflect changes in the operating environment. In line with the Energy Act 2019, and the Constitution of Kenya 2010. EPRA is mandated to conduct public stakeholder consultations such as this one across the country to gather views on these proposals, ensuring that the process remains transparent, participatory, and responsive to the needs of all stakeholders. I wish to emphasize that these stakeholder consultations are not a mere formality, but are a legal and constitutional imperative. The Constitution of Kenya and the Energy Act require that before any tariff adjustments are considered, the voices of stakeholders and the public must be heard. This process embodies our shared commitment to transparency, accountability, and inclusivity in regulatory decision-making. As you may be aware, KPC operates a 1,342-kilometer pipeline network transporting petroleum products from Mombasa.
On a sad note, the family of a police officer who was shot dead while guarding national examination materials in Turkana East is crying out for justice and government support. Constable Crispin Ouma was on duty at the Deputy County Commissioner's offices in Lokori when he was attacked by unknown assailants who shot him dead and stole his firearm. His widow Vera Amondi says Ouma was the sole breadwinner of the family and is now appealing to the government to help her raise the young daughter following his tragic death.
Kwa majina naitwa Vera Amondi. Huyu mwenye amekufa ni bwanangu, na bwanangu ameniacha nikiwa mdogo sana, nikiwa na mtoto mdogo kabisa. So mimi naomba tu serikali anisaidie juu wakati alikuja nyumbani, alikuja August na tuliongelea mambo mengi, tukaongea mambo mengi kuhusu biashara, like next year alikuwa anafaa nifungulie biashara, lakini venye amekufa saa hii hiyo mambo ya biashara ni kama imeisha tu hivyo. So mimi naomba tu serikali anisaidie kama wanaweza nipatia kazi ama tu biashara yote tu yenye inaweza ni sustain. Juu sasa venye ameenda hivi, yeye ndiye alikuwa breadwinner wa familia na ameniacha hapa na mamake pia amekuwa mkubwa. So mimi naomba tu serikali anisaidie. Yeah. Tuliongea Sunday usiku. Usiku tuliongea, mwisho tuliongea saa 3 usiku na yeye Sunday. Amekaa like 7 years kazini.
Sasa sina mengi la kusema. Tunaomba tu serikali watusaidie huyu ndugu yetu apate haki. Tunawaomba. Ndio niko nayo. Alikuwa hapa August. Ndio tulikuwa na yeye hapa. Tulikuwa tunaongea, kuna kitu tulikuwa tunataka kufanya kama huyu mama amesema alikuwa na
A women's group in Turkana County under the banner Voice of the Women has strongly condemned the recurring killings along the Turkana-West Pokot border. Speaking in Lodworth, the women expressed deep concern over the persistent violence, saying that the attacks often occur soon after leaders from both sides trade accusations. They also linked the growing insecurity to increased mining activities along the border and are now calling on the relevant government agencies to regulate the sector to prevent further loss of life. At least 10 people have been killed in the area over the past 2 weeks.
Wetu ambao wamepatiwa nafasi na Mwenyezi Mungu kupitia watu wa kaunti hizi mbili wameendelea kusozana kwa maneno, wameendelea kuitania majina, wameendelea na lawama, na hayo mambo yanatuguza sana, yanatupatia huzuni.
Maafa imepatikana kwa wingi sana kwa kaunti zote mbili, lakini serikali sijaona wakikashifu, sijaona wakiingilia, sijaona wakisema jambo lolote. So tunashangaa sisi kama kina mama. Serikali ina plani gani?
Usicheze na maneno ya FIFA ya watoto. Mambo ya amani sio ya kwenda kuongea ndio ufurahishe kiongozi fulani ndio aseme ati mimi nimeongea ulienda kunitetea. Hapa hatujakuja kutetea kiongozi yeyote.
Hao viongozi wanaochochea watu mambo ya boundary inaeleweka. Wacha iwekwe wazi. Mkenya yeyote anaweza ishi Pokot, Mkenya yeyote anaweza ishi Turkana, Pokot anaweza ishi. Hata hapa tuko na Wapokot, huko pia Pokot tuko na Waturkana.
And beyond the borders to our neighbors in Sudan is that the government of Sudan is calling on the international community to intervene and stop the ongoing killings in the war-torn nation. Through its embassy in Kenya, Sudan's ambassador Mahmoud Osman condemned the atrocities being committed by the Rapid Support Forces militia, describing them as deplorable and inhumane. He noted that the continued violence has forced thousands of Sudanese citizens to flee their homes and seek refuge in neighboring countries. The embassy is now urging the international community to take decisive action again and restore normalcy in the war-torn nation.
If the international community truly wishes to demonstrate its commitment to peace and humanity in Sudan, it must act decisively to stop the flow of weapons, mercenaries, and financing to the militia, to enforce the existing embargo, and to hold accountable all those states or non-state actors who enable such grave violations. Every weapon delivered to the RSF militia is a weapon trained against innocent civilians. Every delay cost Sudanese lives.
And that brings us to the end of tonight's EBN Prime Edition. On behalf of our sign language interpreter, Laura Mondi, and the entire EBN News team that made all this possible, thank you for being part of our evening. And before I leave, remember this: just because they showed up doesn't mean they've got your back. Even Judas attended every prayer meeting. So walk wisely, trust selectively, and keep your faith anchored in purpose. I'm George Kaysi, wishing you a peaceful night filled with wisdom, grace, and God's protection. Goodbye and God bless.